Okay, 3, 2, 1. I just had some insights about my work and how it integrates a lot of my little different experiences and interests and pursuits. One is the concept of the limits of computability from a much broader standpoint, not just hardware, processing speed, clock cycles, and the like. One is the idea put out by Buckminster Fuller in his books Synergetics. I think it's under the part about Omni Directional Computer, something like that. Anyways, the concept is well, he uses the word universe in a very specific way, and I mean, he gets it also the way that the standard usage of everything that exists. Okay, at least in this universe, if there are, because there's speculations about multiverses and all that stuff, but okay. But he uses it in the sense of what humans know, what they've measured. Let's say scientific principles, scientifically. So like the universe is approximately X billion years old, that kind of thing. The distances between planets and stars and galaxies and their relative directions from each other, picking one or more frames of reference, whatever. Okay, so that. The point is you can't compute, there's a limit there of computability. You can't compute the whole system because you don't have a larger system outside it. It would take something larger to compute the whole thing. Okay. And he makes that clear from several angles. One is solidity essentially doesn't exist. You can find that in the introduction to Volume 1 of Synergetics, The Wellspring of Reality. It's all an assortment of tensive and compressive forces, gravity and radiation. We already know that the search for the atom failed to find the fundamental building block, because then it got parsed out to subatomic particles, and I don't understand all that, but there's even a layer below that where it's who knows what the hell it is. Okay, so you can't compute the whole thing. So there's an aspect of the limit of computability. Another is, even if you could compute, or okay, let's say whatever all our computers could compute, how can any human understand all that? So there's that limit. And then you go back roughly 2,500 years, and you divide the planet east and west. You have the difference between the eastern or oriental mind and the western or occidental mind, and it divides there with the Greek natural philosophers who consciously made the assumption that existence exists, and then they started measuring it. Okay, so that's where Western science comes from an assumption. And the last I knew, nobody's been able to prove that existence actually exists. So we're stuck back with metaphysics and consciousness. So back to Buckminster Fuller for a minute. A larger hierarchical level beyond the universe is cosmic integrity. That would be the sum total of all metaphysics. Now, how can that cosmic integrity compute itself, recognize itself, know itself? What does it do? Turn itself into a mirror? Split itself in two? Those are all good questions. And there you can go down to a lot of rabbit holes and a lot of mirrors reflecting off mirrors. So, okay. One other thought that was that had occurred to me, and it fits into all this, is there was a concept created by a Frenchman. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Called let's see if I can do it in French. I don't think I can do it right now. But anyways, I'll try. Contract d'adhesion. In English, we call it contract of adhesion. And I had a friend who couldn't get his mind around what that concept was years ago, a long time, early 90s. And it hit me, like I just downloaded this thought, and it was, so I made a mantra for him. Its purpose, its intention was the precise calculation of risk. Well, there's a limits of computability issue there, so it cannot be precisely calculated. But when you take groups, large enough groups, larger and larger groups, you can make predictions on it, and if you have a large enough pool of capital and such, the house can always win. That's how a casino functions. The odds are slightly tilted, just a little bit towards the house. So some people can go out with big winnings, but the house remains. Now, trying to explain this, I lost some of the finer points. Okay, so let's bring this home. So on computer science and coding and programming, it can be useful to know why compute, why computers, what purpose do they serve, and I'm not saying everybody needs to hurt their brain thinking this way, but for some it can be useful. It can increase their problem solving abilities. You can do this just building up knowledge about different functions and commands and so on and so forth. You can learn coding that way. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Intuitively going out and finding solutions. You may not even particularly care to program. Okay, so why do some people do it anyways? Okay, there's the cultural, anthropological reasons. When you study any job or career or profession, you tend to find certain commonalities in the people. Well, if you find that that's the kind of people you relate with, then the struggle can be worth it, because okay, you got people who can laugh at your mistakes, but they'll help you out. And then when you get a little bit better, you'll be the one poking fun at the new guy and so on and so forth. So there's all that, and of course, if you like it enough, there's a big upside in, you know, the material means to have a life, you know, money and the things it can buy. So anyways, okay, I gotta stop right now. Thank you for letting me use this host and try to get his P-brain to receive these thoughts and let his vocal cords be actuated so this can be recorded. Thank you.